Boom! So, good evening, everybody. How are you doing? It is now 3 minutes past 9 if you are watching live on Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. If you are watching on the replay, huge shout out to you. If you're listening on the replay, massive shout out to you as well on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, etc., etc. For those people who are here live, if you ever miss one of these sessions and you want to catch up with it, I do upload the replay, obviously, here on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, but I put it on YouTube as well. And if you just want to listen to the audio, because I know sometimes people don't have time to watch a video, get yourself over to Apple Podcasts and just search for Act on This TV, all one word, audio experience. And you get to catch up on these every single week. So we've got loads to discuss tonight. I don't really know where to begin, basically, but we had an amazing session last week for members of actonthis.tv with good friend of mine and high performance mindset coach, Mr. Matt Hall, where we looked at one of my favorite topics in the world when it comes to absolutely anything and everything in life, whether that's your acting career or just success in any area, your health, your relationships, emotional mastery, spirituality, I don't know, just whatever, any area of your life. Mindset, I believe everything begins with mindset. Ultimately, mindset is absolutely everything. And in the acting industry, sometimes it's pretty hard, isn't it, to keep a positive mindset, because every week you might be getting rejection after rejection after rejection. Worse still, you might just be hearing nothing at all. You might be sending all of your stuff out, your show reel, everything. You might be on the hunt for an agent and you're just getting deafening silence back. So sometimes it's pretty difficult to kind of stay in the zone, keep motivated, keep inspired, and keep moving forward. So I brought a really good mate of mine on, Matt Hall, last week to look at some strategies, really, of how we can do this. If you are a member of actonthis.tv, if you go over to the members area on actonthis.tv, you will find your the full recording in there. If you're not a member yet, sorry for those on the audio experience, you can't see this. If you go over, I'm going to play this video out in a second anyway, but if you go over to actonthis.tv, click on preview features, you can watch a little 2-minute preview of every single feature that we've got on the website. 400 hours worth of stuff with the biggest agents, casting directors, actors, writers, producers, headshot photographers, me. There's all kinds of stuff on there for you to watch and listen to help you push your acting career further much faster. So get yourself over there if you want to, explore that. Get a membership. I don't know what you're doing if you're not a member yet. You are hurting your career if you're not getting involved in this community. But I'm going to play out just a little 2-minute mashup of some of the stuff we covered on that chat with Matt. Then I'm going to come back, and I've got 3 other videos that I'm going to play out for you from that chat, just to sort of go a little bit deeper when it comes to mindset this week, some strategy that's going to help you push forward. It's only Monday. We can make a lot of progress. We can do a lot of damage by Friday. Okay, so we're back in a second, but check this out. 2 times world record holder and high performance mindset coach, Mr. Matt Hall. Welcome to Act on This, Matt. How are you? Give us the sort of 3-minute edited highlights of your past as a performer, your present as a performer, but then how you got into the coaching side of things.
I got to a point where I was like, I just don't want to be here anymore. I was going out drinking every night. I was doing drugs. I was turning up to my office like, I don't really give a fuck what happens to this company. I felt nothingness. I got to a point of nobody's going to save me. Nobody's going to sort this out.
Yes. Yeah.
No, nobody's coming to sort me out. I've got to make a decision now that I've got to sort it out.
Do you want to explain this triangle and what it means?
We detach from emotion. We detach from interpretation. And we go to logic and calibration. Write this phrase down, tattoo it on your head, pin it on your wall, whatever. If you pass the blame, you pass the power.
How? Potentially using these models that we've just looked at, we can push through this.
The day you stop feeling imposter syndrome is the day you need to quit. We all identify as being procrastinators, and that's not true. It's a behavioral pattern that you can break.
How can we stop fearing judgment?
It tells you more about them and their life if they take any moment out of their day to write something negative about somebody doing their best.
How do you retrain your brain to focus on the internal validation?
One thing I know about confidence and self-belief, and I want everybody to really remember this tonight, none of us get to keep it. When you work on being a happier person and a more self-loving, self-believing person and enjoying the journey, not only will you have a better life, but I promise you, by default, you'll get more jobs anyway.
Oh, actonthis.tv, get a freaking membership to access the 2.5 hour chat with Matt. It was a long one. We went deep on a lot of topics when it came to mindset. You heard a few things there, a few things that stood out for me, even just from listening to that trailer back. Pass the blame, pass the power. I think it's so freaking powerful. So many people, if you're not careful, we all can do this, want to ultimately sort of pass the blame for why they're not working on something, why they're not succeeding, why they can't do this, can't do that. Oh, well, I can't get out of this job, or I've not got enough time, I've not got this, I've not got that, I'm not this enough, that enough. And they're just passing all of their power externally to other things, going, oh, well, I'm not in control at all, as long as, you know, it's them that are stopping me from working or whatever. I just think that's really, you know, really, really powerful. If you pass the blame, you pass the power. Ultimately, you've got to be accountable and responsible for your own decisions and where you are at in your life and your career. And it's all a super positive thing, that when you take responsibility, it's not like, oh, it's all my fault. It's all your fault in a really good way. And talking of decisions, that's the first clip that I want to play. So you saw a little bit in that trailer there, this triangle that we looked at. And we looked at a strategy all based around something called perceptual positioning. And this is basically how you look at any situation in your life. But we made it obviously relevant to the acting industry. We looked at how you could make this relevant if you weren't getting auditions, how you can make it relevant if you're in the room at an audition, and how you can also apply the strategy if you don't get the job, you know, once you've been for an audition. And it's all about getting out of the, getting out of your head really, and getting out of the position of me. So where you look at everything with kind of your own opinions and your own feelings potentially tainting the situation in terms of, you know, it's kind of affecting the way that you look at stuff because emotion is getting in the way. You're not looking at things logically necessarily. You're looking at things emotionally. And then you can look at things from the other person's perspective and go, well, actually, where are they? You know, how they're responding to me, they're reacting to me maybe. What are they just looking at it from a me perspective? So are they, you know, is their behavior based on their emotions right now? Or you can look at it from like a third perspective, which is called the observer, where you can go, actually, right, I can see both people's points of view, and I'm going to look at things not emotionally, I'm going to look at things rationally and objectively and logically. Now, you can do that in a casting, for instance. You know, you go, right, well, I went for this job. I gave it everything. I prepared. I was absolutely, you know, the best that I could be. I didn't get it, so I'm still not good enough. I'm never going to be good enough. And that's looking at it just from you. It's not necessarily looking at it from a casting director's perspective, the director's perspective. Logically, maybe they were casting a family, and logically, you just do not fit that family physically, which is nothing to do with you. Nothing to do, you know, the fact that your hair is blonde and this family is, you know, all dark haired or whatever. If we're not careful, we can just get in our heads and look at everything from our own emotional point of view, and that just paralyzes us and will keep us still and just keep us from, you know, demotivated and going, oh, well, that's it, I told you I wasn't good enough, you know, I screwed that audition up. You didn't necessarily screw anything up. Logically, you just did not fit that job for whatever reason, you know, that is probably out of your control. So here's just a little bit that we've condensed down around that model that you can that we're going to look at now. And it's hopefully just going to help you make better decisions. Any decision you ever make in your career from a me perspective is probably the wrong decision. You want to be looking at it. There's three positions. 1 is me, 2 is the other person, and then 3 is the observer, the logical, rational thinker. You want to make every decision, if you can, particularly professional decisions in your career, from position 3. But here's the whole thing sort of broken down. You'll have to concentrate to understand it because it is quite quick, but I'll be back and we'll go through it a little deeper in a sec. If you want to explain this triangle and what it means.
In life, whatever we're going through, from a day-to-day basis, we're going through events, you know, whether it be a conversation with our partner, whatever it may be. And that's when we say event in the middle, it doesn't need to be like a big event. It doesn't need to be as big as an audition. It's just for the purpose of this, we're thinking of an event as any circumstance throughout your day. We've got two things that we can do when something's going on. The first thing is calibration. We can calibrate, we can observe, we can focus on the facts, and it's kind of like say what you see. The second is interpretation, right? So when we put interpretation on it, we add an opinion based on how we feel.
Yeah.
It's not fact. What we've got is, to the bottom left, we've got an angle we can take, which is all based on interpretation. It's not based on facts. It's not based on calibration. It's based on how we interpret the event. So what we want to think about is perceptual position number 2, which is to the right there, the bottom right, is take into consideration, okay, the other people that are involved in this event, where are they acting from on this chart? So we want to start to look deeper into why people do what they do. What's the intention behind? The third position, which is like what we call the meta position, above and beyond, looking down from that bird's eye view, they can see everything. Now we remove all emotion and only focus on calibration, which is dealing solely with facts, solely with logic and rational thinking. 3 is the position to make decisions from. And if you've responded from anything else, it's not going to be the best decision. The trick is to not make decisions and take action on position 1 or 2. We want to train ourselves to start making decisions from position 3. We detach from emotion. We detach from interpretation. And we go to logic and calibration.
ActOnThis.tv if you want to get access to the full session, grab a membership. But yeah, does that kind of make sense, guys? I know that's, it's kind of like a very fast clip that I just played there. But if you just think about, I want everybody to think about the last thing in your life that screwed you up when it came to mindset, that made you feel bad, maybe demotivated, made you feel not enough, not good enough. Maybe was the thing that made you think, oh, this has happened again. Maybe I should just quit the acting industry. This isn't for me, or whatever. And just have a look at how you were responding and what position you were responding from. Were you looking at it just from your point of view? Were you taking into consideration where the other person was responding from and their point of view? Maybe they were just being emotional or whatever. Or were you? Did you respond from like position number 3, where you are the observer? You get a bird's eye view of everything. You can see both parties' points of view, and then you can look at it logically and rationally and go, oh, actually, yeah, I kind of get that. That actually makes sense. Because when you do that, it's like you win all the power back. But it's very hard because you want to, in an emotional situation or in something, a situation that you care about, you don't get a job. Of course, you want to, you interpret things, don't you? And we often overthink things a lot of the time, and we don't need to. It's unnecessary. If anybody's got anything they want to share, let us know in the chat. If you're on Facebook, let us know if that sort of makes sense to you and is relevant. Josh says hi. Josh says, hi, Ross. My girlfriend says you're part of our relationship now. She said she'll invite you over for Christmas. She feels she knows you that well. Josh, man, it depends what's on the table. Whatever you're cooking, let me know. Let me know what's on the menu, and I'll be over, definitely. What do I like? Basically, mate, Bailey's. If you got any Bailey's cheesecake or any cake at all, just with Bailey's cream on it, I'm down. So stock up, mate, and I'll be round. But yeah, just have a think. And have a think moving forward this week. When you want to react as opposed to respond, it's a very different thing. Reactions are emotional. Reactions are almost instant. They're the things that make you want to punch people or break things. A response is measured. It's at least sort of like 5 seconds of thought before you open your mouth when you are responding. But have a look at where you're responding from. Are you responding from position 1? It's all about me. It's all about me, my feelings. I'm hurt. Are you responding? Are you taking into consideration position 2, which is their feelings? And can you look at everything from position 3 and then make a decision on how you're going to respond? It's difficult, but I think in this industry, it's bloody essential. Otherwise, you'll just completely self-destruct if everything boils down to how you feel about losing a job, not getting an agent meeting, being dropped by your agent, not getting a reply from an email, it can just make you feel like shit because you are the product that you are promoting. And if no one's engaging with that product, then you don't feel very good. But there could well be perfectly normal, logical, rational reasons why, things aren't happening for you right now. Even down to simple things like, well, you know what? If I've been sending the same show reel out and the same email in the same format to the same people for 6 months and nothing's happened, then I've got to change something up. And it could just be logically that, my email is just not well composed. I'm leaving the link to my show reel until the last line of the email, so no one's even getting to the bottom of the email because it's 6 paragraphs long and they just can't face it. There might just be some really normal, rational, logical reasons why your stuff's not getting seen. Doesn't mean they're clicking on your reel and thinking it's shit, and that's why they're not bringing you in. And if you kind of know what you're doing and you dig into what we're doing on AtsOnThis.tv, you'll know how to track emails anyway and see if things have even been watched. So it takes a lot of that guessing and that emotion out of it. Julie, how are you doing? Says, hi, Ross, I'm here, but don't understand you because no subtitles. Oh, Julie, there's just, I don't think there's a way to caption live stuff. If anybody knows if there's a way to caption live broadcasts on Facebook, so that deaf people and people who are hard of hearing can get live subtitles. Because somebody let me know, because I don't know. Well, I don't think it's possible right now on Facebook. I'm looking into doing it with our Zooms, but if anybody's got any info on that, I'll do a bit more research as well. Please just let us know. I always caption all of the micro content that you see me playing out tonight. It's always got subtitles on it. But I just don't know if Facebook can actually give captions to a feed live as it's happening. So I will definitely look into that. Katora, how you doing? I hope you are well. Joe, how you doing? Hope you're good as well. So the second clip that I want to play out is all to do with judgment. Another thing that people struggle with, even if they've decided they've made the right decision, like we just looked at there, they've made a logical decision. They're now going to start promoting themselves, or they're going to start marketing themselves correctly, or they really want to try at least. One thing that stops them above anything else that I see in the acting industry is fear of judgment and other people's opinions. So you might be tempted to post a showreel scene that you've just shot or something like that, but you just don't quite have the guts to put it on Twitter, to put it on Facebook, to tag someone in it, because you'll be like, well, I feel like I'm pestering people. What if people think it's shit? What if people don't like me? I've put all this effort in and I'm scared that people won't like it. Ultimately, it comes down to fear of judgment and other people's opinions. And I always say that your opinion of yourself has to mean more to you than everybody else's opinion of you in this world combined. But that's not always an easy thing to do. So this is something else we spoke to Matt about. And here's just a 2-minute piece on judgment. How can we stop fearing judgment and other people's opinions?
Perspective shift. Nobody actually gives a about you. And I mean that in the nicest way possible, because everyone's too concerned about their own shit. Like they care more about themselves than they do about you. So it's exactly what Ross says. You are not what you think you are. You're not what others think you are. You are what you think others think you are. But what others think of you is probably not true. And actually they're more bothered in what's going on in their life. You've got to remember that nobody who ever got successful didn't get opinions about them, didn't get judgment. So if you fear judgment, like just accept you can't be successful, or figure out a more positive relationship with judgment. A problem that we've got as actors is we play a popularity game. And not just actors, people generally like to be liked, right? We want self-acceptance, other people's acceptance. We want to be liked. The worst game you can play is the popularity game. Like, stand for something, get clear on who you are and what you want out of this world and how you're going to get it, and unapologetically be that. But understand perspective. You can't stand for something, you can't do something strong, and you can't get a strong result without polarizing people's viewpoints. Why? Because logically, everybody's different. You cannot be liked, loved, accepted, embraced, understood by everybody. So you've got to think, well, I want big things out of this life. And in order to get it, I'm going to polarize viewpoints. You can't get the success without the hate, not because it's your fault, because that's human psychology. People generally, are drawn to negativity and bitching and moaning and whining and comparing and bringing others down. It's always going to happen. The worst thing you should do is focus on that. Accept it, embrace it, understand it's going to happen, and you just focus on one foot in front of the other. Keep on moving forward. Stay in your own lane. See people for where they're at. It tells you more about them and their life if they take any moment out of their day to write something negative about somebody doing their best.
Oh, powerful clip from what was a 2.5 hour deep dive into mindset and acting and getting on top of your mental game. If you want to get access to the full thing, actonthis.tv, grab a membership. You'll get access to sessions like that every single week with the biggest names in the game. Not just people like Matt and, great coaches, but the biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, and more in the TV industry, helping you get further much faster. Really interesting clip, innit? Really interesting clip. And I think the first thing Matt said there, just in itself, is powerful enough in terms of get a perspective shift on judgment in terms of, in the nicest possible way, nobody really gives a shit. People are so caught up in their own problems, regardless of whether they're a casting director or a famous actor or a great director or whatever. They've got their own stuff to worry about. They're not waiting for your tweet just to watch it and slate it or whatever, whatever it is that you post, listen to something or read something and slate it. What Matt said there as well, I completely agree with. It just speaks volumes about other people. If someone is prepared to make themselves feel better online by tearing somebody else down who is just doing their best, then those people just need love. Like, you shouldn't even be angry with those people, because it's just like, I would hate to live inside their head, because they are hurting, and we know hurt people hurt people. So what I'd want you to do, is anyone in here actually like struggling to post something, or maybe you are afraid of putting yourself out there, so to speak? I want to know, because I want you to do it and then tag at Act on This TV on Twitter with whatever it is, and I'll retweet it to 20,000 people. And I promise you're not going to get any shit. You'll just probably get positive comments. Or maybe you won't get any comments, but you know what? You're probably not going to get what you're afraid of getting. If it is, judgment that you're afraid of getting if you're going to post something. Alex says, great post from Michael Balogun this morning. Words of encouragement. He says, I started acting in 2013 with zero experience. You can do whatever you want if you really want it. Anyone struggling, do not give up. F that. Keep going. Just, it's good, isn't it? It's just about the hustle, the grind, and just continuing on. And it's so many people. Like when I went to drama school, so many people drop out. 23 out of the 25 in my year. 22 out of the 25, as far as I know, are no longer in this game. We graduated in 2005, so many years ago, 16 years ago now. But so many people, and just don't keep going. And there's so many people out of that lot as well who, when I was at uni, when I was at drama school, was like, you're really, really good. You so could get somewhere if you wanted. But that's why mindset's so important, because you can have all the talent in the world, but if your mental game is not right, none of this is going to work. If your business acumen is not right, it's not going to work. You need like almost like what would you call it? A triforce of skills, really. I think you need the talent. You need the business acumen in terms of knowing the business of this business so you can get that talent seen. And then you need a solid psychological foundation to last the course, because it's not generally going to be a 12-month thing and then you get what you want. It might be a 12-year thing or a 22-year thing or a 32-year thing. But you've got to stick in there. Time's going to pass anyway. Might as well have a go, haven't you? You got to think about that sometimes. Time's going to pass anyway. Well, you know what? What else am I going to do? Might as well have a crack if that's what I want to do. So Felicia says, I am almost happy my family made me feel like shit. Oh, I'm almost happy. My family made me feel like shit for so long. I can only grow better and stronger from there. Yeah, that's all. Sorry to hear that, Felicia. But if that's the case, you've got to consciously not saying cut out your family, because no one wants to just cut out the family unless you want to. But consciously seek out other people who do lift you up. A lot of people get that when they're like, my friends aren't that supportive. Like, what do I do? And it's not really about cutting people out or anything like that. What I generally find has happened in my life, if I've ever had people in my life like that, is the more I've gone all in on me, and the more I've focused on me, and the more effort I found to seek out other people who want to lift me up, and people who I can add value to their lives, and they can add value to my lives. As you raise your standards of what you demand from yourself and other people, and you start becoming a better person, and you start having more success, you never have to cut anybody who's negative out of your life, because they do it for you. They don't want to be around you if you are becoming more successful, because it just magnifies that they're not. So it's never really about cutting people out or anything like that. I find if you just focus on yourself, raise your standards of what you demand from yourself and the people in your life, the people who don't reach that standard, they eject themselves out, so you don't have to cut anybody off. It's easy on social media though to mute people. I would recommend you do that. If there's people who you're like, I can't unfriend you because then that might cause some political issues with the family or whatever, you can always, on every platform, there's like a mute option, or don't show me their stuff option without unfriending someone or unfollowing someone. So you can always do that virtually. Indra says he's a bit afraid. So Indra, have you got anything you can post? Have you got anything that you're proud of that you're like, actually, you know what, I'd love to put this out here, but I'm a little bit afraid? Because if you have, I want you to post it this week, some point this week. Get that 5 seconds of courage. Push the button. Include @Act on This TV. And it goes for anyone watching on the replay or anyone listening on the replay or anything like that. And I want to show you, I will retweet it and I will ask people to watch it. And I want to show you that you'll probably only get positive comments. No one's going to go, oh, fucking hell, Indra, shouldn't have posted that. No one's going to care, because like Matt said there, everyone's too wrapped up in their own stuff. Grace says she's always blooming afraid. Well, Grace, same goes for you. You need to post something as well. Thank you, Michael. It's a great clip. Can't argue with that advice. Felicity started lifting myself up, and then believed other people could do the same. Yeah, sometimes you just got to go all in on you. And when you start getting, the thing is if you want people in your life who are better in whatever area that you want them to be better in, maybe just, better people, nicer people, more supportive people, you just focus on becoming that yourself. And you will find that you just end up in situations in life where you are surrounded by those other people because you are that. It's like when people are like, my perfect partner, I want them to be, I want them to have a great body. I want them to be ambitious. I want them to be financially independent. I want them to be kind and loving and caring. They have like 25 tick boxes. This is my ideal boyfriend or girlfriend. And then they're actually none of those things themselves. Or like if you just became each of one of those things, you would end up in the rooms where, just by default, you wouldn't even have to try. If you end up becoming those things, you will just end up in the rooms where those people are. So if you want to find somebody, a romantic relationship or whatever with someone like that, just become it yourself. And you will find people like that, because to become it, you'll have to go to those places where people like that hang out. Rachel said, I was too afraid just the other day to post my Do or Die Studios Cast Me Comp self-tape on Twitter. Rachel, did you post it? Or did you not post it? Because she said, I was just too afraid. So did you go through with it, or did you not post it? And does that mean you've missed the deadline, or can you still post it? Because, you've got to... Honestly, the thing is, it's like doing anything once in it for the first time. You do it, and then you go, oh, that wasn't that bad. The worst generally that's going to happen if you post something like that do or die thing, is no one's going to comment on it. That's it. That's the worst. And you go, oh, well, And then don't overthink that, because a lot of people go, oh, no one commented on mine, so they must have hated it. No, not necessarily at all. I mean, they hated it. It's a very subjective industry. Maybe someone does watch. You know what? We all watch stuff, don't we? Sometimes and go, yeah, I don't really like that. But generally speaking, I've just never done it. I've never left a thing going, oh, thanks for posting that, but it's shit. Didn't like it. At worst, you don't post anything. So anyone who takes the time out to post something that's negative, they're in a bad place. They're in a really bad place. So all we need to do is just give them some compassion, because, I would not want to be them. Grace says she's got an idea for a series of sketches, but she's too chicken. I can do a flawless Amazon Alexa impression, and I wanted to show various scenarios where she loses her shit, but I'm frightened no one will find it funny. Well, Grace, you're never going to know. You're never gonna know, are you? Till you do it. I think that's hilarious. I won't say it because I've got one in here. But if I say her name, like, I mean, sometimes I don't even say it and she starts going off on one. Siri's the same. I'll be really quiet because he'll go off. But sometimes he'll just go, I'm listening, Ross. I'll go, whoa. I hope you didn't listen to that conversation. So, yeah, it's a bit funny, isn't it? But I'd love to see something like that. I'd love to see something like that, Grace. And Rachel said she did submit for the competition over email, but not on Twitter. Rachel, that is your homework for this week. Submit it on Twitter, post it, tag us in it. We'll everyone on here will retweet it, and you watch. And I'll retweet it going, watch this, leave a comment, and just watch how many positive comments will be. There won't be any negative comments. No one will do it. No one. Hopefully, people are just too caught up in their own shit to leave negativity. Alex says, "Got to go." Thanks, mate. Says, "Ross, you're looking cool up there, bro." Got a hoodie on tonight, Alex, because it's freaking freezing. Normally, I've just got a black t-shirt on. Gone for the old black hoodie. I just have black everything, so I don't have to decide what to wear in the morning. I've got 20 black t-shirts and 20 black hoodies. What you said there, thumbs up for doing what you're doing. That's on this. Thanks, man. Appreciate that, Alex. You have a good night, mate. Definitely. And look, Grace, there's already comments here with people saying that sounds amazing, that Alexa thing. Nick's saying it sounds amazing. Grace, go for it. You should definitely do it. Ellen says she just posted a reel on Twitter, so didn't have time to wimp out. Nice. Good. Yeah, do it. Let's have a look. What else is going on here? I can only see 5. Apologies if I'm missing anything. I can only see 5 comments at a time on Facebook. Let's have a look. What else is coming up? Lifting myself up. Great clip. Can't argue with that. What's this? Looking at acting. What's this? Oh, Nicole, looking for acting classes. The support from the people you make friends with and the tutor. Yeah, so acting classes. Yeah, exactly. If you, yes, again, you're going to find, you're going to end up in those rooms if you go to classes where other people are trying to achieve the same goal as you. You'll find like-minded people as well. You might find man or woman of your dreams whilst you are at acting class. I know so many people who've hooked up at acting classes. It's ridiculous. And there's a quote here from Theodore Roosevelt. I'm going to play some more clips out in a second. I'll stop talking in a sec. But Felicity said, it's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions? Who spends himself in a worthy cause? Who at the best, this is a long quote, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Yeah, that's the thing, innit? To neither know victory or defeat really just says you never tried. I think you're so gonna regret that more than defeat, without a doubt. And it's just an outcome, innit, at the end of the day. Don't even look at it as defeat. It's just an outcome that you'll learn from. Right, I'm going to play one more clip from Matt, and then we're going to look at what's coming up later this week for members of AtsOnThis.tv. This is something... so let's say you've got your decisions, you've started making better decisions, you've got over judgment, okay, and you're doing more stuff, you're being more productive. When you're in that spot, the next thing that can derail you is overwhelm. And it can be like, I've got so much to do, I'm overwhelmed, and then you begin procrastinating because you don't know which thing to tackle first. So we looked at that with Matt, and he came up with something called the Pds Model, which stands for prioritize, which sounds obvious, but it's like, something we probably none of us do as well as we should do. What is really essential that needs to be done this day, and what could be, put off to tomorrow, or what is the one thing, I always say this, what's the one thing that if I did it now would make everything else easier or even unnecessary. Sometimes if you do something, some other things you can knock off the to-do list, you don't need to do them. So prioritize. D is for delegate. Could you get help with that? Could someone else do it for you? Could you pay someone to do it if you've got the money to do that? And the S stands for schedule. So we're just going to have a look at this with Matt now. And again, hopefully this will just help you be a little bit more efficient. when you're making better decisions and you've got over that judgment. Help us with this. I think you've got actually a slight extra mini model for this, haven't you?
The biggest thing I coach people on to help manage their week and their time better is something that I call the PDS model. The PDS model, if you want to write this down, stands for number 1 is prioritize, the D stands for delegate, and the S stands for schedule. And this is what you do. Before you take it through that model, get absolutely everything out of your mind onto paper or onto your laptop or whatever. Anything from the tiny stuff like I need to book the dentist, right up to the big stuff, I want to change the world. Like get everything that could possibly take up space in here, your top 4 inches, and get it out. So we get it down, and once we've got it all down, we then go to step 1, which is prioritize. And what you want to write down is 4 categories in the prioritize section. Number 1 is today. Number 2 is this week. Number 3 is next week and beyond. And number 4 is delete. Then we take it to number 2. And this is a lot of people find this hard. You've got to understand you cannot do everything alone. To grow to the highest levels, you need a team to get you there. So you've got to really ask yourself, who can do this job? Is it a family member that can help? Is it a partner? Is it a friend? Do I need to pay somebody? Do I need to get a mentor? Like, I need help. The S, moving on, is to schedule. You want to schedule it where you look at everything on there as time sensitive and goal specific. So write that down, time sensitive, goal specific. And what that ultimately means is, say you get up at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. till 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. till 6:30 a.m. What specifically do I need to achieve in that time slot? What this enables you to do is ultimately wake up in the morning. Is if you've written this out and you've got this, it's almost like your PA just goes, there's the to-do list. And you've got, right, I've got half an hour to get this done. Focus. The more structure you can have in your life, I promise you, the more freedom you'll have.
Boom, adsonthis.tv. If you want to get access to the full 2.5-hour chat, I know I keep saying that tonight, but it is just such a cracking chat. Did I say S for schedule, by the way, before I hit play? My mind's a complete blank. PDS, prioritize, delegate, schedule, or schedule. How do you say it? I say schedule. Matt says schedule. But yeah, it just means really what I always do is I will do the night before. So I've got like a pad here, and the night before, every day, I'll write down the 3 things that need to be done, basically the 3. I mean, there's often more than 3 things on that list. It's not necessarily a to-do list like where everything's on it, but it's like, what are the things that I need to prioritize? What are the 3 main big tasks that if they do not get done, the day is not ultimately like I can't move forward. But yeah, it's just a way of sort of getting over overwhelm. So if you're like, right, I want to crack on with, I don't know, what you're planning on, a short film that you're doing or something, and or maybe you're marketing short film you've already shot or something like that. It's like, right, well, I've got so many things that I could be doing. I could be doing Instagram, I could be doing Twitter, I could be doing YouTube. It's like going, well, prioritize what is the platform you already have the biggest audience on. So which is the platform that would make sense for you to actually just, start marketing on that before you bother with these other things that might not have a big enough impact. There's lots of things that kind of go into prioritizing things, but have a think this week. What are the things you want to do by Friday that absolutely must get done? What do you know? What? Be honest with me. What's the thing that you know you need to do, and maybe you've known you need to do it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but again, maybe that fear of judgment we mentioned before is just putting you off doing it. And you're just like, oh God, I know I've got to do that, but I'm just still scared. Maybe it's. I had an email from someone today. He's leaving their agent. Just to be, I won't say who it is, obviously, but it sounded, some of the things their agent had done, God, there's some jokers in this industry. So people, that's the thing, people can say that, I can put a title in my Twitter bio, say I'm an agent. There's no law stopping me from doing that. It doesn't mean I am. Please, when you're signing with people, do due diligence. Don't just get excited, because like, yeah, I'm an agent, I'll sign you. Some of the things this agent was doing, I won't go into it, but it's just ridiculous. It's the most unprofessional stuff. Basically trying to get effectively their actors into what is only really a pyramid scheme that they're already in. And they want, sign up via my link. Oh yeah, so you want all your actors to sign up for a side hustle via your link. so you can make more money out of your actors that actually you should be submitting, but you're too busy building a side hustle yourself. What is that about? Absolutely ludicrous. So maybe you're in a similar situation and you're just afraid of pulling the trigger on something like that and leaving an awkward situation. I want you to do it by Friday. Sarah, how you doing? Hope you're good. We're just recapping on all the stuff that we looked at with Matt, and then I'm going to show you what's coming up this week. I think that was the last clip actually I was going to play tonight. Yeah, it is. We've done judgment. We've done making better decisions. We've done the PDS model. So we can focus on this week. We've got 17 minutes left. So we've got any fans of Brassic in the house? Anyone scans? Anyone fans of Sky One's Brassic? Danny Brocklehurst and Joe Gilgan are the co-creators of it. Stars Michelle Keegan, a whole host of amazing actors and actresses. One of my favourite comedies of the last few years. Not been watching the latest series. Definitely need to binge it. It's just a fantastic show. Really, really great show. Let us know if it's something that you would want to work on. If it's something that you've been watching. Christian, how you doing? Hope you're good. I was talking to a director friend of mine the other day who directs Brassic. He directed the first season, actually. He's also a director of some other massive, massive shows, like Doctor Who. He's a director of. He directed Netflix's The Stranger from Harlan Coben. One of the best dramas I think I've ever seen, to be honest, starring Richard Armitage and Hannah John Kamen. I had a little part in it, tiny part. But that was a huge show on Netflix, like a proper worldwide kind of sensation. He's also just directed something called Stay Close, which is a new Harlan Coben Netflix drama coming out on New Year's Eve. This director, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned his name, Daniel O'Hara. Absolute ledge. He's going to come on and chat to us. We're going to do a private Zoom call with him on Thursday night for all members of ActsOnThis.tv, talking about all of those shows that he's directed, talking about his casting process, how he works with actors on set, how you can get on his casting radar, what he likes in showreels, what he doesn't. Ultimately, it's just a great introduction to Daniel, his work. It's a way of you building rapport. He'll give his social details away. He's very active on Instagram. I'm sure he'd be okay with you messaging him and reaching out if you think there's something relevant that you want him to see. Just a great guy. Just one of my favorite directors, basically, that I've ever worked with. But this is happening Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. If you're not a member of ActsOnThis.tv, get to ActsOnThis.tv/live on your screen right now. Get a membership and you can join us for this. It's going to be awesome. Actors, listen up, because I have got a very special invite for you to this week's ActsOnThis.tv live mastermind session. It's taking place on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 11th of November, with this absolute legend here, one of my favourite TV directors. His credits include Doctor Who, Sky One smash hit comedy Brassic, worldwide Netflix sensation The Stranger, and upcoming Harlan Coben Netflix drama Stay Close, which is coming out this New Year's Eve. It's Daniel O'Hara. Daniel, thank you so much for doing this. Great to catch up with you, mate. What are we going to be covering on Thursday night?
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, well, I'm happy to cover whatever is of interest to people. If any of your gang tuning in want to know anything about the process on any of those jobs, whether it's specifics or general, working with actors at various stages of the process, whether that's casting, prep, on the shoot, on set, post-production, ADR, all that kind of stuff. Happy to cover whatever.
Nice. I cannot wait, right? You want to get involved in this, actors. Daniel's working on some of the best stuff out there. Incredible guy. If you want to tune in, potentially jump on camera, have a little one-to-one with us, chat through anything to do with auditioning, working on set with Daniel, how casting has changed in the pandemic, anything to do with that at all. Get yourself over right now to ActsOnThis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved and get involved with these sessions every single week. We bring you the biggest names in the game on a weekly basis, biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, directors, and more. So ActsOnThis.tv/live for that. And then a little bit of pressure on you, Daniel. I do this to every single guest on these trailers. Why don't actors want to miss this session in particular?
Well, some of the best stories probably come from shooting Brassic.
Yes.
So any of the actors watching, next time that they are shooting a scene in a tiny van with another actor and a Shetland pony and a pigeon, I'll tell them exactly what to expect.
Yes, right. Well, if you want the tale, you better be there. ActsOnThis.tv/live. actonthis.tv/live if you want to get your seat. I cannot wait to hear all of the tips if you end up shooting a scene in a tiny van with a Shetland pony and a pigeon. Daniel did it in Brassic. We'll find out all about it. So if you ever have to do it, you'll know exactly what you are doing. It's just going to be a wicked session though, guys. And like I say, such a top bloke, Daniel. Really easy to get on with. Very, very sort of supportive of actors, loves championing new talent, loves working with new talent, finding new faces, and he is working on literally the biggest shows in the world, like not, on the planet, like across the globe, however you want to say it. Stay Close, the Netflix drama that's coming out on New Year's Eve, honestly, freaking incredible, absolutely incredible drama, an 8-part series, you've got to watch it, just binge it. We're all staying in on New Year's Eve. God knows what's going to be happening this year with I won't say the word in case Facebook censors me, but you know what I'm talking about. A particular thing that's been going around for the last 2 years. Don't know if we'll be allowed out on New Year's Eve or what, but if we're not, get stuck into Stay Close. It's good. Grace says she's a massive Doctor Who fan as well. Really excited for his session. Katura says, enjoyed The Stranger. You smashed your role, Ross. It was pretty impossible not to smash Katura. I think I had about 6 lines, so thank you. It was a great show to be a part of, though. I didn't even know I was going to be in it. That was so kind. They wrote me that part. Very, very kind. I wasn't supposed to be in it. I just helped out and got a little favour. So yeah, that was amazing. Absolutely amazing to do. Just basically being blown out by Hannah John Kamen. It's a story of my life, and watch any scene basically I've done recently that involves me chatting up a female, and it always ends up with one of those. Someone's sticking the finger up at me and going, do one. Hannah was exactly the same. Only the TV show, though. Any TV show recommendations to binge, says Andrew, preferably UK shows. Mate, the only thing it's not UK, but the only thing that I've been binging at the moment on Netflix is You. I don't mean you, Andrew. The actual show, You. I mean, absolutely incredible. Season 3 has just come out. If you've not watched 1 and 2, watch them all. Binge every episode. One of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. I did crack on with Squid Game. I'm only 1 episode in. It does look great, but I got sidetracked by You, the show You, that is. I just binged that completely. But anyone else, get some recommendations in the chat for Andrew to binge there. And also, yeah, I want to know if there's anything that I should be watching as well, because I just don't watch enough. It's crazy. I just never ever have time. Emma's been smashing out The Office US for the first time and loves it. Oh yeah, Outlaws on BBC iPlayer is great, says Grace. Show Trial as well. Daniel Edwards cast Show Trial. I've not seen that yet, but don't tell him, he'll kill me. But that's another thing that I'm seeing a lot of press around right now as well. Right, so we've got 9 minutes left. Let's do a little bit of general Q&A, and we'll wrap it up. But yeah, if you want to get access to what we looked at tonight, I'll just go back over to the website again dead quick. If you're watching, you can see the website right now. This is actonthis.tv if you stumbled across this for the first time. Every week I sit down with the biggest players in the game, whether they're actors, agents, casting directors, writers, producers. Basically 7 online sessions a month you will get for 24 quid. It's, less than what most people charge you for one, with names nowhere near as good as the names that we get on. Some past guests there include people like Stephen Graham, casting director of Line of Duty, Daniel Edwards, agents from United Agents, Danny Brocklehurst, the creator of Brassic, or the co-creator of Brassic, Afterlife actor and comedian Joe Wilkinson, top casting director Carleen Crawford, Downton Abbey casting director Jill Trevellick, agents from Hamilton Adele, Daniel Mays, what an incredible actor Matt Lucas, head of Hollyoaks casting Peter Hunt, David Harewood, what an incredible actor. Just the best people in the game, basically. So if you're not a member of the community, you are hurting yourself, definitely, for what basically you probably spend a week on a latte and maybe a cherry slice from Costa Coffee or whatever. You could be hanging out literally live on a private Zoom session with the biggest names in the game every single week, getting insider information you will get nowhere else to really push your career forward in a way that just your competition does not get the opportunity to do. So come and get involved. Felicia says, what are the red flags you should avoid when signing with a new agent? Any upfront fees, Felicia? Anybody even this bullshit thing where people are even going, oh yeah, I'll put you on to put your photograph on my website, it's £30. Do one. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You're my business partner. If I'm an actor and you're an agent, you're my business partner. We're in this together. You're not going to charge me to go on your website. This is ridiculous. Any kind of upfront fees like that. Oh, it's £150 joining fee. Well, that's not an agent. That's not an agent, right? That's the biggest red flag ever. Contracts with stupid clauses in, like you need to give me 3 months notice to leave. The biggest agents in the world, like in the UK, that would be like United, that would be Independent. They don't even have leaving clauses in terms of like, if you want to go, it's like 24 hours notice or something like that. Not 3 months. What's the point in saying you want to leave an agency and them going, right, you have to stay with us for 3 months? Well, you no longer like me because you know I'm leaving. I don't want to be here, so there's no real like incentive for you to put me forward for work. That's just pointless. So shit like that. I just think that just shows inexperienced, stuff when it comes to agenting and things like that. I think some people might do it with good intentions because they think that's what you have to do. Maybe if they're a bit new and they're a new agent. But most agents don't do that. It's like, it's like a marriage, isn't it? If either of you don't want to be there, what's the point? What's the point? Imagine that in a marriage going, okay, you want a divorce? Okay, it's a 3 month, notice period. You just be like, well, I don't want to live here anymore. We don't like each other anymore. Like, what's the point of me staying around for 3 months? It's mental. So just stuff like that, basically. If anybody needs any advice on agents, by all means post. If you're a member of actsonthis.tv, you'll get access to the private community on the website itself, not on Facebook. It's locked away. It's very private. You can talk with confidence in there that no one's really going to be looking or stumbling across it. If you want some advice on an agent you might be thinking of signing with, put a post up there and the community will jump in. I'm sure, we'll give you some advice on that. Definitely. Right, what else am I missing here? Random question. Might be a bit specific for this live. My agent took 33% on a photographic campaign I did. Is that typical? It's a lot. It is a lot. I mean, I don't quite know what... Because generally, like, photography and stills like that, editorial... I mean, I don't know if it's in a different bracket equity-wise in terms of kind of like what pay for that is and if there's different usage and stuff on that. Raya, it seems like a lot. Definitely. I mean, I think 20% max on stuff is generally as high. I mean, 25 would be insanely high. 33 is a bit crazy. Just depends though. Is it an exclusive acting agency or is it modeling agency? The modeling world might be different. That might be typical for models. I don't know that, I don't know that world, Raya. It does seem pretty high though. Definitely. Pippa said I posted my tape in the Facebook group. I've missed your comment, Pippa. It keeps flying off the screen. Could you give it a look? Yeah, as soon as I can, Pippa. Yeah, absolutely. I will absolutely do my best for sure. Let's have a look. Matt Hall mentioned getting a mentor. Any mentors, life coaches you recommend? It's a difficult one, Katura, because it depends on what you want to focus on. So I always like, if I'm looking for a coach in any area of my life, not to go to just a general coach. It's almost like going, say you want to achieve something, a physical, like, a body composition type thing, and you go, oh, well, I'll just go to any personal trainer then. It's not really a good idea. Some personal trainers will focus on, I don't know, for instance, maybe they focus on women getting, back the body they want after pregnancy, and that's their thing. That's just what they focus on. Maybe some personal trainers are like, right, well, I'm getting people ready for their wedding day, and so they look amazing on their wedding day, and that's what they focus on. It's kind of getting specific. I think people who go, yeah, I can cover everything, generally aren't as good. They might know a little bit about everything, but I like to go sort of like an inch wide and a mile deep with someone, as opposed to a mile wide and an inch deep across the board. So it depends on what area of your life you want to focus on, Katura. And then I would start looking at people who are really known for that one thing. It's like, Acts on This is just TV. Like, I'm known for the TV industry. I don't know anything about theatre. If you came to me and went, Ross, how do I get into the West End musical theatre? Absolutely no idea. So although, I focus on the acting industry, there's areas within it that I'm clueless about because they don't interest me. I'm not passionate about them at all. So you might find that mentors are specific about a certain thing. Some will be like, right, I'm the guy who's productivity man. or woman, so I'm just going to make you as productive as possible. You get someone else who's like, right, you know, I'm sort of, you know, more self-belief and mindset, you know. So it's finding out the people, you know, digging out those people who are very, very skilled at that one thing that I like. So in terms of acting and business, you're in the best place to act on this. Maybe I should, you know what, I'd love to start, I just don't have time at all, but I'd love to start doing like some, I don't know, more intimate kind of group coaching, just to really, because the thing is, it's funny, right? Because everything you need to succeed in this industry is within the webinars that we hold every single week. But I get it, information sometimes isn't enough for some people who might need a bit more external motivation to do it and a bit more accountability to push forward. It's kind of why, you know, do sessions like this to sort of hammer home some of the things that we've spoken about on the member sessions. And we do a rapid fire Friday session every other Friday for members on Zoom. Again, that, you know, you can get accountability on. But there is a part of me that goes, oh, I'd like to just get, you know, it would have to have a very small intimate group. I don't know, maybe like 5 people or something. And just do some more one-to-one stuff. But right now I just don't have a schedule to do it. So I'm trying to think who, maybe I'll outsource Petch, because Petch knows a shitload. Petch has worked with me now for like 3 years, you know, and he's flying in his own career. So maybe I'll just get Petch to start doing some one-to-one sessions with people. But I'll have a think, Katora, and let you know. The only person who kind of springs to mind who is legit is Emma Crompton. You know, the casting director, who's now, I don't know if she's still casting, or maybe she's looking at working more with actors on a one-to-one level, coaching. But Emma's legit, Katora. That might be worth having just a one-off session with her and just seeing what you think of the way that, you know, that Emma coaches people. Pippa says, has anyone heard anything interesting that is casting at the minute, particularly up north? Have you heard anything on the grapevine? Everyone's still banging on about Waterloo Road. In the north, because obviously that's, you know, being cast in Manchester. Other things that are going on in Manchester right now, Happy Valley is going again from Sally Wainwright. I think that's probably one of the biggest projects that's going on right now. It's always worth checking as well, guys. If you want a little bit of a heads up on everything, check out the just Google BBC press site, ITV press site, Sky press site, and Channel 4 press site, and look in the press sites. That's what they are. And have a look in there'll be a tab in there for like new commissions. Have a look at what's been commissioned recently as well. That'll give you a little heads up. Sometimes it's not quite put on there early enough before casting has already taken place. But a lot of the time you'll get hints of what's being made. And maybe the first block shooting, but they've still got the second block to cast. It might even have the director on there. Could sometimes have the casting director's name on there as well. If not, it will always have the production company's name and sometimes a little email to production to go, oh, could you just let me know who's casting this? 9 times out of 10, you'll get a reply and they'll tell you who's attached to it, casting-wise, if it's still going ahead. And Grace said she's fab and lovely. You'll have a blast and learn a lot. Who's that, Grace? Is that? Oh, you said Alyssa Rogers. She's great as well. We've had her on Acts on this.tv. Alyssa's fantastic. She's good. And Josh said he got a reply from Michelle Smith and her assistant saying they'll keep me in mind for Waterloo Road. I sent them my new showreel scenes. Josh, good work, my man. Amazing. Well, it's just gone 10 o'clock, folks. That flies by, doesn't it? So I'm going to get going. I'm going to leave you to it. But do join us this Thursday with Daniel O'Hara. It's going to be a cracking session. Particularly if you're a fan of Brassic, we can get lots of behind-the-scenes gossip on that. Also, how Daniel brought the cast together for Brassic. And I'm not going to spoil it now, but basically he did something that I think is quite rare with a cast to make sure, even before the read-through, everybody had chemistry. And apparently the read-through for episode 1 of Brassic was electric. So we're going to go over how Daniel achieved that when he was directing it. So just some really cool stuff that we were talking about. And obviously I just want to introduce you to him because he's a legend. And if you get to work with him, well, you should all have him on your list of people you want to work with because he's absolutely fantastic and does literally work on the biggest projects in the world. So I'll love you and leave you. I'll play the trailer for that again, the invite video for that again in case people missed it, but actonthis.tv/live. If you want to get a membership to Act On This, like I say, you're going to get 7 sessions a month with the biggest names in the game. You'll become part of the most supportive community in the world when it comes to acting and this industry, at least in the UK anyway, although we've got members all around the world. We've got members in the States, in Germany, in Spain, France, all over the show. So it's a worldwide community now. There's an iPhone app, an Android app, bi-weekly group coaching every single week with a top guest, a monthly Zoom social, which is taking place next Saturday, by the way, guys. It was supposed to be this Saturday just gone, but I knew everyone would be out partying at Bonfire Night, so we've delayed it a week, so you could have a lie-in last Saturday. That's happening this Saturday at 11 a.m, so be there for that. Just so much from this community, like I say, for what would basically cost you the equivalent of a latte a week, more or less. If you like a large latte, like I do, with sugar-free caramel and coconut milk. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you, but I'm going to play this trailer again. And I really hope to see you Thursday night. If I can do anything for you in the meantime, tweet me at ActOnThisTV. And everyone who I said you're going to do that thing that you're scared of doing for fear of judgment, I want you to do it this week. And I want you to tag me in it at ActOnThisTV, and I'll retweet whatever it is that you were scared to post. Just post it. Only acting-related stuff, that is, yeah. Nothing dodgy. Until next time, everybody, love to you all. Bye for now. Actors, listen up, because I have got a very special invite for you to this week's ActOnThis.tv live mastermind session. It's taking place on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, the 11th of November, with this absolute legend here, one of my favourite TV directors. His credits include Doctor Who, Sky One smash hit comedy Brassic, worldwide Netflix sensation The Stranger, and upcoming Harlan Coben Netflix drama Stay Close, which is coming out this New Year's Eve. It's Daniel O'Hara. Daniel, thank you so much for doing this. Great to catch up with you, mate. What are we going to be covering on Thursday night?
Thanks, Ross. Yeah, well, I'm happy to cover whatever is of interest to people. If any of your gang tuning in want to know anything about the process on any of those jobs, whether it's specifics or general, working with actors at various stages of the process, whether that's casting, prep, on the shoot, on set, post-production, ADR, all that kind of stuff. Happy to cover whatever.
Nice. I cannot wait, right? You want to get involved in this, actors. Daniel's working on some of the best stuff out there. Incredible guy. If you want to tune in, potentially jump on camera, have a little one-to-one with us, chat through anything to do with auditioning, working on set with Daniel, how casting has changed in the pandemic, anything to do with that at all, get yourself over right now to actonthis.tv/live for full details of how you can get involved with these sessions every single week. We bring you the biggest names in the game on a weekly basis, biggest casting directors, agents, actors, writers, producers, directors, and more. So actonthis.tv/live for that. And then a little bit of pressure on you, Daniel. I do this to every single guest on these trailers. Why don't actors want to miss this session in particular?
Well, some of the best stories probably come from shooting Brassic.
Yes.
So any of the actors watching, next time that they are shooting a scene in a tiny van with another actor and a Shetland pony and a pigeon, I'll tell them exactly what to expect.
Yes, right. Well, if you want the tale, you better be there. ActOnThis.tv/live.